Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another Historic Brawl gameplay video, this time featuring a Sythis Harvest hand deck. So the other day we played a green-white enchantment deck in Standard, and I did say that in this Standard they pushed green-blue enchantments, but for me the correct colour of enchantment decks is and will always be green-white, so I decided to play Sythis. I've never played Sythis before, which I've never entirely sure why, because green-white's probably my favourite colour pair, and I do love enchantments and enchantment synergies. So I'm not sure why I've never played it before, because it's a really, really powerful and simple card. So what is it? 2 mana, 1 green, 1 white for a 1/2, and it simply says, whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life and draw a card. So, important notice that says cast, not whenever an enchantment ETBs. So we get it even if the spell's countered. And obviously this means our deck is enchantment based. You can go a few ways around it. There are obviously a huge amount of enchantments on Arena. You could go more of an aura route. We do have some auras, but we are not an aura deck. We don't have cards like Pearl Ears and Light Paws, which are enchantment based creatures. Aura based creatures. But we do have some auras like Shard Mage's Rescue, which is also a protection spell. And these are all that glitters and Ethereal Armor, which buff our commander based on the number of enchantments we have. Not going to go through the deck because it is mostly just enchantments and enchantments that do things and enchantment creatures. But ones I would like to highlight, obviously with Duskmourn we got a lot of new enchantments. We don't actually have any rooms in this deck, interestingly enough. I did have a couple in there but removed them before I started playing. But Ghostly Dancers as a finisher, whenever a enchantment ETBs under our control, we create a 3/1 white spirit creature token flying. That is quite easy to get 2 or 3 of those a turn. Ghostly Prison is great against aggro decks. It says creatures can't attack us unless their controller plays 2 for each creature they control is attacking you. So that basically just shuts down aggro decks. We do have a bit of a card draw synergy along with Sythis. So we have a few of the what are generally called enchantresses. So Enchantress's Presence is, I always just think is the first one, but I don't think it is. I think Argothian Enchantress was the first one, but that's not on Arena. Whenever you cast enchantment spell, draw a card. Satyr Enchanter, whenever you cast enchantment spell, draw a card. Succession Champion has Constellation, so whenever an enchantment enters under our control, we draw a card and put a counter on the champion. There is a 4 mana one as well, but I cut it because we have enough card draw, really. We also are playing cards like Sanctum Weaver, which is a mana dork that taps for X, where X is the number of enchantments we control. So obviously, this can produce a lot of mana very, very quickly. We also have a lot of enchantment based removal like Banishing Light, Borrow Time, Seal from Existence, Buried in the Garden, Sheltered by Ghosts, which is just a fantastic spell anyway. We have taken out there was an Ossification, just because out of the 35 or 6 only 11 of them are basic lands, so chances are we might not be able to cast it as often as we want. Yeah, so and our finishers are we've got 2 the green and white Overlords. Sigil of the Empty Throne, whenever we cast an enchantment spell, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying, so that's really, really good. Nyxbloom Ancient is an enchantment creature, but also triples our mana production. Sun Titan can get pretty much most of the things back from our graveyard, as well as Brilliant Restoration, return all artifact and enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Obviously, most of our cards are enchantments, so getting this back can just really, really swing a game our way. We have an interesting amount of ramp. We have a Boreal Grazer, Avacyn's Pilgrim, Birds of Paradise, and Llanowar Elves, and Utopia's Brawl. We have Pearl Medallion to reduce the cost of all our white spells, and most of our expensive spells are white. We don't have Arcane Signet. The reason being is when your commanders are specific mana cost, for example 2, you want to prioritize other mana costs. We do obviously have more 2s than anything else, but problem is if you draw a handful of 2s, you don't want to play it on turn 2. You probably want to play Sythis, and come turn 3 it'll be hard to the double spell and stuff like that. So went for Pearl Medallion over Arcane Signet. So how powerful is the deck? It is very powerful. Like a lot of this is an aggro creature based deck, kind of. It does suffer against removal. The problem is with this Sythis and other decks like it doesn't go big. So if you might have a game where you play Sythis on turn 2, turn 3, you play an enchantment, gain life, draw a card, turn 4, play another one, blah, blah, blah. And your opponent doesn't do anything, and suddenly it gets a turn 5 or 6. And they play their Atali, their commander, because they've ramped. This deck's not going to kill people before then. It's going to set up so it's possible to survive that, but obviously it's not a great, big, scary commander. No one cares about a 2-mana 1/2, basically. Also, you know, if a opponent just removes Sythis, it is kind of annoying. We are quite land light. We have 35, not including MDFCs. So we do have under 40. So often we'll, you know, have 2 lands in our opening hand. And the idea is we play Sythis, and on turn 3 we play another enchantment, start drawing in some more lands. Sometimes that doesn't work. You could go 1 more land. The ultimate draw essentially is 1 mana, 1 mana Dork or Mox Amber, turn 2 Sythis, and then hold up something like Shard Mage's Rescue, which is enchantment, to get the benefit from Sythis, but also to whiff any removal our opponent might have. And then you just get away turn 3. You might have 3 or 4 mana to start playing out low mana cost enchantments and just get all the value from there. So that's the deck. I really, really enjoyed it. This is one of my favourite archetypes I like playing, so I'm not entirely sure why I've not played Sythis before, but I do really enjoy it. I hope you all enjoy it as well. I know enchantments and things like enchantments and life gains are always popular amongst the Magic community, so I really hope you enjoy this deck. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the gameplay. So a troublesome deck, especially when we are on the draw, sorry. But I think we can keep this hand. I think we just have to swords their ramp. Oh. Let's get Sythis countered. Wash away. Or maybe a 2-mana counter spell. Yep. I mean, that was obvious, but needed to be done. Oh, they're on the full counter plan. Let's try and bestow it. I fully expect them to have more counter spells. Yep. You don't usually see this many counter spells in Kinnan. Thing is, they can... Yeah. Kinnon's just ridiculous. Gotta take out their Paradise Druid, I think. Obviously, we don't want to attack with the Spirited Companion. So have a land, they can still... Well, they can't take out a Spirited Companion with Kogla because of Ward. See, looking for removal for Kogla. So obviously when Kogla attacks, it could destroy our enchantments, which is not ideal. Yeah, it takes... But what we can do now is... not have enough mana. Oh, we will actually, because of our Naturalist. Unless they counter this. Yeah, they've got a counter. Yep. But at least that does mean they pretty much waste their turn. But they can destroy another enchantment. And I think we just get down the Innocence. It does mean our spirits can now basically chump Kogla. Well, trade with Kogla. Crater Hoof. Oh no, Titan. And they can cast it. So we've killed their Kogler. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can play out the Ancient and then Kenrish transformation. Here's what we do. And yeah, we transform their Titan. And then swing in with our Ghostly Dancers. Obviously they do have access to a lot of mana. But now so do we. With, well, we essentially, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 24 mana just from lands. So we can play out Sythis. Probably play out the champion first to carry on to double draw. Hopefully get into more enchantments. Play out the Mystic to reduce their costs. Play out Swiftfoot Boots to give Sythis hexproof. And yeah, I'm surprised we managed to win that up against that many counterspells and a very strong Kinnan deck. Opponent goes first, but a pretty good hand. I think we scry turn 1. Obviously, we could keep up swords to just take out their Tameo. Depends if they play it. They do. So, I think we get our Temple Gardens. They don't even gain any life because of a 0 power. I do just expect a counterspell. Oh no, just Malcolm. Okay. Tameo's back down. We can... Let's play out our Sanctum Weaver. Well, what we can do, again, I'm expecting them to have counter spells. Play out Sythis. If it resolves, play out Spirited Companion and Birds of Paradise. Let's do Companion first so we get the Sythis trigger. There's 2 removal spells. Wow. So, we should be able to play out a few things. Let's just get a forest. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can't play out Sythis and a Banishing Light. Oh no, we can actually. I miscounted. Let's take out their Raoul, because obviously we do have another one if they do transform Tamio. They have their own Birds of Paradise. Well, let's play down Secession Champion. And let's play out Heliod. Hopefully draw a land. Let's play this as a land. Yeah, let's just Banishing Light there, Tamio. And yeah, let's scoop it up. The next turn, well, in a future turn, well, we only actually have 1 enchantment in the graveyard. But if they do manage to remove stuff, we do have Brilliant Restoration and more than enough mana from Sanctum Weaver to cast it. Against Balin, so a tokens deck. Well, we can Kami. Get down the farmland. And next turn we can Witch Enchanter on a land, pay the 3, unless we obviously draw an untapped land, and then Curse of Silence to get that value, tax their commander. Well, I will do it this way. Bale and the Haymaker, and then their Ghostly Prison. Really, really good against a token style deck. We don't need to shock it in. Might as well hit him for 2. So basically now whenever they attack they need to pay 2 for each attacking creature. Next turn we can Overlord. They can create copies of that. Well, I think I'm going to take out their Gired. And let's get out a beefy Catilda. It's not an enchantment, but it is a 6/6 flying lifelinker. They're struggling with lands. Can't do that, sunshine. So I've what? 4, 5. Alright, well let's just Visitor. And let's explore onto Catilda. Hit him for 9. We gain 9. But next turn, unless they get something with reach, they are very, very, very dead. We'll play out our champion. Yeah, we play out our champion, play Ethereal Armor on our Catilda. It gets, I don't even know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, +5 and first strike. Putting up to 14. Actually, we'll buff it again with the Visitor. So up to even more than that. Yeah, our opponent struggled with lands. And Ghostly Prison against a token deck is really, really powerful, because even if they hit their land drops, they wouldn't be able to attack with many things. Up against Adeline, so mono white aggro deck, Ghostly Prison would be really, really powerful. And we do have it in our opening hand. We are on the draw though. That was the wrong button, obviously. There we go. Do we want to play Sythis? Yeah. And next turn we can get Ghostly Prison down. They might be able to, you know, things like they you know, they could have ways to remove it. Such as that, for example. Let's Surveil. I'll keep another land and let's impend our Overlord. Next turn we can Sythis and then Ethereal Armor and hold up Shard Mage's Rescue. We're not far away from being able to play out Brilliant Restoration. And we'll just hold up Shard Mage's Rescue. They might have something else. They do not. It is only 2 things in the graveyard. Do we want to... Let's take out their... Do we want to take something out? Sure, just because we don't want to get encounters and destroying enchantments anymore. But obviously they can just chump. That is annoying because if it was just removal, we could get it back with Brilliant Restoration. Wait, do we not have a... Oh, it's reveal. Alright. We can Ganjo something if it attacks. Take down their claim jumper. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Agreed on with an untapped land. Well, I will hold back. They can only attack with 2 things. 3 things then. Oh, it doesn't really matter about the invasion. Never mind. Green. So Sterling Grove puts cards on top. So they'll be able to transform their invasion. But if I search up Sigil of the Empty Throne, I think it is. Has our opponent given up? Obviously in white they could have Farewell, Sunfall, Wrath of God, Vanquished Horde. There's a lot of sweepers they could have. But they seem to have given up. Yep. Always fun when opponents do that. That's then to make it easier to report people. Or actually do anything about the report. Oh, they are there. So obviously that can get in to me. So they are transforming their invasion. I think I have to get something like Sheltered by Ghosts to take out their Skrelv. Yeah, where is Sheltered by Ghosts? There we go. But we'll attack for 25 life gain. They've given it a good game. I can only assume they mean I've won. They do gain a couple of life from that. But we're up to 62. And yeah, it's hard to come back from a Brilliant Restoration, bringing back all that value. And yeah, having a 27 first strike lifelink. Wall 2 probably isn't that relevant. They've got a lot of mana. But yeah, us gaining almost 30 every turn was always going to overpower an aggro deck. Oh, Grenzo. Hate playing against Grenzo. Well, I think we Flooded Strand and then Surveil. No protection for Sythis yet. But if we can get up with a Sigil, then that's a very real win condition. I think we keep the land. Well, let's see if Sythis gets removed. Yep. Who knew playing out of land would be this hard? Well, we'll play out the prison. That's a bit of a bummer. Well, I think we've got to play out Sythis again and hope it survives. But obviously, in a black-red deck, chances aren't great. Are they just playing out Grenzo? They are. Well, at least we can journey to nowhere, the Grenzo, and they can't attack with the Graveyard Trespasser. Can't do that. Well, let's journey to nowhere. We'll have to pay the 1, obviously. And then let's Reign of Truth. Shelter by Ghost is a good draw. They are some way from being able to replay Grenzo. Also, we have a few enchantment-based removal. Let's play Sigil. And that's good. We're going to draw that land. They're not hitting their land drops. Just see what they take. Yeah. What we can do, we can just get it back with Shelter by Ghosts. And then even if they take out the Shelter by Ghosts, because it's buried in the garden, we just get it back. And then we will cast the case. Play out a couple of lands. Swing in for 3. I'm not particularly fussed about playing out Birds of Paradise this turn, because they could have a sweeper of some kind. well, what we can do is we just had a haunting, go over the top. Yeah. Yeah, we play out Hallowed Haunting, and we have, that'll be our 8th enchantment, so it gives everything flying. So we had lethal on board anyway, but then we could strengthen the harvest to make, say, give our Sythis a big old boost.